Hi, I'm Brett Larkin. In this particular video, I'm going to show you a stretch that requires no props whatsoever that I've found tremendously effective in releasing and stretching my low back. To start, just come to a position just like this with the soles of the feet on the ground. And then you want your feet to be pretty far apart. We're going to do something that seems very silly, and we're going to try to put our knees in our armpits. So just stay with me, especially if you haven't done this before. And you want to hold the outside of your feet. So I'm holding the pinky toe side of my feet, and then I'm really getting low to try to get my knees into my armpits. Now you might feel a little bit of a low back stretch here already. I know I am. So once you have your knees in your armpits as best you can and really get it in there, don't hold back, and you'll feel a little silly, and that's fine. It's going to get even sillier because what you're going to do next is you're going to start waddling your seat back in space. So begin waddling your seat back in space on your mat. You'll feel very, very silly, and that's okay. And what you want to be looking out for is a small place, once you feel the whole floor of your pelvis hit the ground, which I'm feeling right about here, you're going to start to feel a really nice low back stretch. It's really important to let your chin dip into your chest and just let your head be completely heavy. And keep holding the outsides of the feet. And as you let the head become very heavy and dip the chin into the chest, just take a few deep breaths. Now you can choose to flex the feet. I just kind of want them relaxed. Just begin to take a really deep breath here into the low back. So usually you just want to waddle back until, again, you feel the floor of the pelvis fully on the floor. And that's where you're going to find and be able to access this yummy low back stretch. And begin breathing into the low back. And of course, those of you that are really flexible or have a lot of range of motion, you might want to waddle the seat back all the way, and then you'll just eventually slowly release into this incredibly deep forward fold. I find that I like to stay just right here where my floor, the floor of my pelvis is on the mat, and I'm holding the feet, but I'm not really in a proper forward fold. My knees are still bent up into my armpits, and I find that this for me is the best place. If you're not feeling the stretch, make sure to stay here over the course of several breaths. I know for me, just the stretch is intensifying right now. So especially when dealing with low back pain, we have to have a lot of patience when coming into a lot of these stretches. You might not feel it in the low back immediately, and you have to trust the low back takes some time to open up. Really important to send your breathing there. Have equal inhales, equal exhales. So just working on making inhales and exhales equal length. Good, and then you can slowly waddle back more maybe, or again, choose to extend the legs, but keep the legs pretty inactive would be my suggestion. So here I've come all the way down now, so I'm fully folded forward, but this is very far from a traditional Dandasana staff pose, as you can see. I'm almost more in a wide Baddha Konasana bound angle pose, except the soles of my feet are not together. And it's just much more informal and sort of exploratory. I'd encourage you, if you're here, or even if you have your knees more bent, which actually I recommend, is you can just kind of lean to one side. So I've kind of leaned over to the left, and I'm feeling my right sitting bone now. I'm trying to lengthen and ground my right sitting bone onto the mat. And then you can lean to the right, and now I'm going to feel my left sitting bone really deliberately, purposefully, I'm grounding it into the mat. And then coming back to center, hanging out on one side or the other as feels good. I encourage you to stay here for as long as you possibly can, even 7 to 10 minutes. If you set a timer, staying down here for 7 to 10 minutes is going to really transform your low back. There's another video in which we actually do stay for 7 minutes, and I highly recommend that. You can do this stretch with the timing of that video.
So please pause and stay here for as long as you see fit. The longer, the better. When you do come out of this, it's really important that you take the palms of the hands to the mat, begin to press into the mat with your palms, feel that connection with the low back, and then really gently push yourself up. And by all means, take as long as you can in the forward fold. Make sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and from my heart and my practice to yours, namaste.